Isaac was Abraham's son of promise, and all of the promises that God had made to Abraham, like, I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. These promises and others were all passed on to Isaac. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, and like Abraham and Sarah before them, Isaac and Rebekah were unable to have children. So Isaac earnestly prayed to the Lord for Rebekah. The Bible says, Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. Isaac and Rebekah were thrilled to learn that they were going to have a child. God had answered their prayer. But the further Rebekah's pregnancy advanced, the more she felt a tremendous commotion in her womb. So Rebekah sought the Lord in prayer. She prayed, If it be so, why am I thus? Lord, if this child really is your answer to us, why is this such a struggle? The Lord answered by saying, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Wow, she was having twins. Each of the boys was going to be the father of a great nation. They would be very different from each other, as would the nations that would descend from them. And the older son would be the servant of the younger son. Rebekah took God's words to heart, and she remembered them as long as she lived. The day finally arrived for Isaac and Rebekah's boys to be born. They named their firstborn son Esau. Their second son was born immediately after Esau. So immediately, in fact, that when he was born, his hand was holding on to his twin brother's heel. His parents named him Jacob, which means heel holder. As they grew up, Esau loved the outdoors. He loved to hunt and work in the fields. Jacob preferred to work inside, doing things like organizing and keeping books, and also performing household chores. Because he was the firstborn, Esau was his father's favorite. But because of what the Lord had told Rebekah, the elder shall serve the younger, Jacob was his mother's favorite. For the first 15 years of their lives, Esau and Jacob were privileged to be around their legendary grandfather, Abraham. How many times must they have sat at his feet and heard him tell the stories of God calling him to leave his home and move to Canaan, of waiting 25 years before God gave them Isaac, of God asking Abraham to take Isaac and offer him as a sacrifice, but then stepping in at the last minute and providing the ram to stand in Isaac's place. How many times had they heard Abraham repeat God's promises to him? And how many times, after repeating those promises, had Jacob watched as Abraham then focused his full attention on Esau and said, And you, son, will be the recipient of all of those promises someday. You will carry on the eternal legacy with which God has blessed me. How many times as Jacob listened to words just like that, spoken by his grandfather Abraham and then his father Isaac, how many times did he sit there and think, why him? What did he do to deserve that? Why should he be chosen to be the heir of God's promises? He's not better than me. He was just lucky enough to be born just seconds before me. What made things even worse for Jacob is that Esau didn't even seem to care about what was being bestowed on him. It was like it was no big deal. But Jacob fell asleep every night of his life, fretting, stewing, wishing that he could be the son of promise. As the years passed, Jacob's desire for Esau's birthright grew more intense. His fretting turned to strategizing. How could he use his own strengths to exploit Esau's weaknesses and cause his brother to relinquish his inheritance? Jacob formed a plan, and he began to watch for the opportunity to execute it. At a time when Esau had been out working hard all day in the field, Jacob was inside making a big pot of chili and some fresh bread to go with it. As the evening closed in, Esau stumbled into the house exhausted, collapsed into a chair, and said, Jacob, what are you making? Jacob had surely cooked for Esau many times before, and Esau fully expected that he could count on being fed again this time. But today was different. Jacob said, I've got the best chili and bread you've ever tasted. But first, I need something from you, Esau. Esau laughed and said, I'm starving to death. Name your price. Jacob answered very sternly, Give me your birthright.
My birthright? That birthright won't do me any good if I'm dead. I need to eat,
Jacob said. Swear to me that it's mine, and you can have all the food you want. In one of the most foolish and lopsided bargains in all of human history, Esau transferred to his brother the eternal legacy that he was to receive from Abraham and Isaac for one meal. To be clear, God didn't need Jacob's scheming to accomplish his will, and Jacob would pay for his conniving ways for the rest of his life. But God confirms again and again that he admired Jacob's hunger, his ambition. Christian, the Lord likes it when we are hungry for his very best. Stay the course.